Now, we've all been there beginning our golfing journey and trying to scramble together some clubs to start playing the game properly. And that can be a little overwhelming. It can be quite daunting looking at the amount of clubs and models available on the market. And quite frankly, a lot of amateurs end up using clubs that actually end up hurting them. In this video, I have picked out the 7 types of golf clubs that every beginner golfer should own to make the game more enjoyable and, more importantly, help them lower their scores. I'm at the beautiful Stoke Park Golf Club here, where we are going to be putting these clubs to the test and showcasing them in their best environment. If you do like any of the clubs that you do see in today's video, I will put them down in the description box down below with some handy links to the best prices you can get them in your area. Right, let's start with the driver, because that is an area where a lot of beginner golfers struggle just getting the ball off the tee. That's largely down to a lack of loft in the head that they choose, as well as trying to hit it far too hard. Now, I know we all want to gain some distance off the tee and get ourselves way down the hole, but trust me, having a club that is forgiving is really where you're going to see the benefit, especially when you're first starting out and your technique maybe isn't that solid. But you're going to want to choose something like this. This is the Cobra Optum Max K driver. Now, this is a 10K driver. It's got maximum forgiveness. It's a large footprint and it's got some rear weighting here, which gets the ball launching nice and high. Now, a lot of golfers will choose a product that's far too hard to hit, like I said, prioritizing distance, and are too proud to use something that's maybe more forgiving. But these clubs are really gaining some traction on tour, with Gary Woodland noticeably just winning with Cobra 10K driver in the bag. So let's hit one down this hole, see if we can get ourselves in play and move on. Well, it wasn't out the middle, but it's down the middle, and that's all that matters. Let's get down there and move on to the next part of the game. Right, remember, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit the like button down below, as well as subscribe so you don't miss any future Golf Monthly videos. Now, the next recommendation in this video is probably my personal favorite, and that is the Ping G440 Max 7 wood. Now, I absolutely love a 7 wood, and I've even put one in my bag this year myself, and they are just so great that if you're struggling to hit long irons and you can't quite get the launch or the carry, then you're going to want to opt for one of these. They've got, again, like the driver, some rear weighting, a really shallow face to help get that ball airborne, and they're super forgiving. This has 21 degrees of loft, and you actually get a shorter shaft than, say, in a 5 wood or a 3 wood, so you're gaining absolute maximum control. Let's hit one down there and see how we get on. Well, that was a really good shot, straight down the pin. It might be a touch short, but I'm really happy with that. I didn't quite catch it perfectly, but that's what's so brilliant about these clubs. If that was an iron, it probably wouldn't have even got 30 yards within the green because I hit it a touch low. But with this, I got the launch that I was looking for. It's hopped up there nicely, and I've got a really good chance at even making a birdie or possibly a par. Now, talk about struggling with long irons. Well, if you're a beginner golfer and you've got a 4 or 5 iron in the bag, take them out, put them in the garage, because there is a far easier way to hit the distance you're looking for. You're going to want to put hybrids in the bag. I promise you, these are like a cheat code from distance. Now, this is the Ping G440 hybrid, and this is a 5 hybrid, about 26 degrees of loft. So it's about where a 5 iron would sit, essentially. And the reason you're going to want to play one of these is because they are just so much easier to hit from all different situations. So I found myself in the rough here. We're looking to kind of advance this ball down the hole. It's probably a bit too far to get to the green, but equally a layup with an iron would be really challenging here. Now, these have a lower central gravity. We've got, again, rear weighting, much like the 7 wood, to really help with the launch. And that is one area with longer irons that they don't actually have enough loft on them, but also they don't have much help in terms of getting the ball airborne. So that's where these really come into their own. Let's give one a whack here and see how we get on down this hole. Oh, I mean, we will take that. And hopefully the camera picked up on that flight, because considering how disgusting that lie was in this juicy kind of wet rough, that ball has launched out of there superbly, just glides through the rough really, really well. And what's more, these clubs are super versatile, like I said. They perform just as well out the fairway, and if you're struggling with your chipping, you can actually get these out round the green, and they work really, really nicely as a little bump and run, get the ball running towards the hole. So definitely look to put hybrids in your bag if you're struggling with your longer irons. Now, while you're going to want to replace those long irons with hybrids, you're going to need some irons to make up the rest of your set. And that's where having a cavity back style or a super game improvement iron is going to be of massive help to you as a beginner golfer. Now, these are the Callaway Quantum Max irons, and I think these are absolutely superb and look as good as a cavity back iron I've ever seen. Now, a blade or a muscle cavity back that you'll see guys use on tour or lower handicap golfers, the sweet spot is minimal and there is very, very little offset, which means you need to be pretty precise with your ball striking every time. But the benefit of these is the parameter weighting. They help get the ball airborne. You've got this really thick top line here, which gives a confidence inspiring look down behind the ball. And actually the offset helps turn that face over and stop that kind of left to right slice that causes a lack in distance. Let's give one a hit here and see if we can get this up near the pin. Oh. Now, it wasn't actually my best hit. It was pretty chunky, but we found ourselves about 20 foot left of the pin there, and that's where I absolutely love these irons, and I think a lot of beginner golfers will benefit. You don't have to be perfect with these irons, so that stress of feeling like you need to make a perfect swing is taken out of the equation. Obviously, you need to hit the ball before the big ball, as we like to say in golf, so making sure you hit ball then turf. But this really, really will help you if you're not there with maybe the most consistent ball striking, but you want something that looks great and does the job for you, then you're going to want to check out some cavity back irons. Right, let's talk about wedges, because if you are using cavity back irons, there's every chance you should also be using cavity back wedges. Now, a lot of beginner golfers will just go straight to the shop or look online at what some of the best players in the world are using and automatically think wedges are no different, that they can just use straight whatever the pros are using, but that is not always the case. Some people do have really good hands, just naturally able to clip the ball off the turf, but a lot of amateur golfers suffer from getting that leading edge digging in, causing fat and thin strikes. Now, you're going to want something like these. These are the Cleveland CBZ wedges. Now, Cleveland are known for making absolutely superb wedges for beginners all the way up to some of the best players in the world, like Shane Lowry and Brooks Koepka. But these offer such a nice look down behind the ball. It's kind of got that oversized looking head, which helps also create like a seamless transition between your wedges and your irons, rather than having two very different looking styles of club. They do have a really wide kind of tri-sole design here as well, which really prevents that leading edge from digging, allowing you, even off the tightest, purest turf like this, to just clip the ball off the top and advance it without having to worry about thinning it. Right, let's give one a whack here, see if we can kind of pitch one up next to the hole. That was pretty good there. It wasn't actually my finest strike, but that's what I love about these wedges. I was able just to slam the back of the club down into the turf and let the 12 degrees of bounce on this wedge really just kick it up and get that ball rolling up next to the hole. It set us up for getting up and down, and you are going to be far better off as a beginner golfer with cavity back wedges like these in your bag. Now, you may have some cavity back wedges in the bag that will also be superb when not just pitching but also hitting full shots, thanks to their kind of dampening vibration. But if you get closer to the green and you're still really struggling with your chipping and pitching, then your last resort is probably going to be one of these. This is the Odyssey Chipper. Now, it's 37 degrees, so it's about an 8 iron. You've actually got this longer grip on it, so you can grip down and get really close to the ball if you're seeking complete forgiveness and control. But the idea behind these is that you get this really, really wide flat sole, so it almost acts as if you were bumping and running a hybrid, but you've obviously got more loft on this face with some grooves to help generate a touch of spin. Now, the idea would be that off tight turf like this, you would get in behind the ball and adopt your normal putting stroke Keep your wrist pretty flat. You don't want to be hinging it. You're not trying to chip this shot. You're letting the club do the work. So keep your wrist really still and essentially just make a putting stroke, and hopefully the ball will pop up and get running towards the hole. Go in. Oh! Now, I can confidently say if you were someone struggling with your chipping or the yips, then this is going to seriously help your game. Now, the last of my 7 recommendations is a high MOY mallet putter. Now, in this instance, it is the TaylorMade Spider Tour, which has just taken the PGA Tour by storm this year. It seems like every man and their dog is picking up this putter and putting it in the bag, and for good reason. These putters are super forgiving, and that's going to massively help you if you're a beginner golfer. You've got these wings on the back here, which have some weighting to really help improve stability on off-center hits, as no matter what level you get to in golf, you're going to want more forgiveness on the green and make it easier to hold putts. Down behind the ball, I absolutely love this kind of clear path alignment system that we've got here, and this singular alignment line really helps line the ball up well. I'm someone that lines up my putter with my ball because I do put a line on my ball to help with even more alignment. So let's give this a go and hopefully we can hold this putt. Well, it was a pretty good read, but that was made so easy to set up over the ball and give me a lot of confidence thanks to the alignment features on this putter. Now, don't go out there and get a blade just because they look really pretty. I promise you, as a beginner golfer, they're a lot harder to time up due to the amount of toe hang. Something like this, a large mallet, especially with this kind of double bend design or a single bend design, will make it face balance, make it really easy to stay square to your path throughout the stroke, and hopefully will have you holding more putts. Hopefully you enjoyed that video, and if you did, make sure you hit the like button down below and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Let us know down in the comments which of these you feel like could improve your game the best as a beginner golfer, or if you're a lower handicapper golfer, are there any of these that you wish you'd put in your bag sooner to help you play better golf? But from me here at the beautiful Stoke Park Golf Club, we'll see you next time.